I believe in the previous video we stopped at the 5th point of this web page, which we're following for our business requirements document. And basically we were about to start to this point here, the stakeholders. And if we go ahead and read, I need to again preface that this series and the project that I'm working on, this series of YouTube videos and this project that I'm working on, is all for educational purposes. None of what I'm doing is going to be physically shared with anybody. So again, it's all educational purposes. And if we go ahead and read the 5th point, which is part of the business requirements document, which is what we're writing right now, which is part of the requirements gathering, which is then part of the Agile methodology. Right now we're in step 1, which is planning of the Agile methodology, which is, again, a method for software development and testing. So if you go to point 5, we've done point 2, 3, 4. Point 1 suggests that we should do all the next points before doing the first one. Point 5 says project stakeholders include anyone with an interest in your project. These are likely the people who will read your business requirements template to understand what the project is about. Your key stakeholders may be team members working on a project, project managers leading a project, executors approving the project, clients influenced by the finished project. In this section, list the names and job roles of each stakeholder and describe their duty in relation to the project. I guess, again, since this is just me working on this as a project for learning purposes, I could just include my name in there. But like I said, like it says, in a real-world environment where you're working with other people, especially for clients, you would have to declare the names of the stakeholders. So for us, the key stakeholders is just me. I'm project creator. I don't know. I can just give myself whatever title, I guess. I don't know what to call myself in this case. So I guess that we can just move on to the next point. And the next point is project constraints. You likely presented an overview of your project constraints within your project scope, but here you'll explain these boundaries in more details. When the reader reviews this section, they should see the shape of the project and its limits. Project constraints may include project risk, team availability, resources, project dependencies, deadlines, and project budget. So I'll just go ahead and write all that stuff down on my business requirements document. So project constraints. Project constraints, the first points that they mentioned were project risk. Project risk, there is no risk for us. If I could kind of think of a risk in terms of like a real world scenario, let's say you are creating a website which has information for a grocery store where customers can go on the website and view what's on sale and what's available, what's in stock, what is all the grocery items available. They can register and get some discounts and order online to receive their groceries at home. I guess the risk would be if you don't deliver in time. Or maybe we should read the other points real quick again. So there's risk, availability, resources, dependencies, deadlines. So that would be in deadlines, I guess. And budgets. So what are risks? So I guess risk could be something like uncertainties that could affect constraints, and then the constraints could be something like we already know, like the deadline and the cost. So like for example, constraint would be the project must be completed within 6 months versus a risk would be something like unexpected technical challenges could delay the timeline, violating the time constraints. So I can't really think of any project risk right now. So project risk, we could just say none for now. Let me just put this here, none. And then we can skip over to the next part, which is team availability. Team availability. For me, it would be, 24/7. This is like personal project. But in a real world scenario, team availability, I mean, you could work outside of work hours. Obviously, you might not be able to actually, physically work on the software and stuff like that. But you could plan and, think of ways that you could make changes once you're in office, for example. If you're not allowed to work on have the code base outside of office or whatever. So for resources, I guess that would mean, what kind of software you have available, and even hardware. So for me, I would say something like, it could also mean, like how many people are on the project. So one person, I have my computer, which is fully capable of delivering the project. I have my software. I can go ahead and so Microsoft. I mean, this stuff is already kind of declared above in the. I guess the requirements kind of explains what we're going to be using. But I do have the resources. So Microsoft Word. Notepad plus plus. I guess I can just generalize this. Software. And then besides that, we also have deadlines, or actually project dependencies. Project dependencies. For us, for me, it would be something like I'm going to need an IDE, I'm going to need a database management system, I'm going to need some kind of text editor, I'm going to need internet access, I'm going to need a computer, I'm going to need a version tracker. Well, I'm not going to need a version tracker, but I am going to need, because we want to use a version tracker in our project. What else would we need? I guess, yeah, that's kind of what we would need. And then after that, the next point is deadlines. Deadlines would be none. There is no well, actually, I do want to finish this by maybe April or May. And then project budget. Nothing. Zero. And then, so that's pretty much the project constraints. And then next we can go to the last point, which is cost-benefit analysis. Cost-benefit analysis. If we read this point, it says ending, 1 second. It says here, ending your business requirements document with a cost-benefit analysis is a strategic move. If you're using your business requirements document to get approval for your project, this section may be the deciding factor. Clients and executives care about the project objective, but if you can't prove that you'll make a profit, then all is lost. So I guess this is about to create a cost-benefit analysis. Describe all the costs associated with your project, explain the associated benefits, write the total expected cost of your project, estimate the expected return on investment by subtracting your estimated costs from your estimated income. So point 7 seems to be all about laying out the costs of everything that your project is going to require. So if your project, if you need to get a license for a certain software for your team to use to, deliver the project, that's going to add some cost. If you need to hire a new employees or something like that, it's going to be costly. The time is also a factor, because time is money. Stuff like that. Just lay out the cost of everything. You might need new computers, you might need extra computers, all the stuff that you need. You might need membership on a website So you can access certain features, such as version trackers like GitHub and GitLab, or you want to have some kind of pro account somewhere for whatever reasons for the project. And then what we're trying to say for the 7th point is, once you lay out the costs of everything, you want to describe how it benefits the company that you're working for. You know, money usually is the main objective. So if the client, which you're trying to deliver the product to, is paying you, then you have to know if it's worthwhile to even tackle this project if you're going to make much more than what you're going to need. Or it could be for learning purposes like us, and the benefit is that we learn new technologies, or we keep ourselves basically up to date, or stuff like that. And then what you have to do at the end is just subtract the cost of what you're going to need for your project from the payment of the client that's requesting the project. So the first one says describe costs associated with the project. So we'll go ahead and do that. Cost, project cost. The project cost, it's going to be nothing, because this is just personal. But even if it's a personal project, it could cost money if you're trying to access certain technology to deliver what you want. I mean, I guess it does cost time. And time is money. But in our case, the time doesn't matter too much, because we're not working for somebody. And then the next point is explain the associated benefits. Project benefits. So the benefits is that for me personally, I'm going to be applying machine learning knowledge to full stack environment. I'm going to learn artificial intelligence, AI, and neural networks. Well, I guess that's a certain subset to it, but learn neural networks, learn image recognition, keep on my toes. So a lot of the things that I'm going to do, I already have experience with. I just don't want to lose that, experience, and keep myself on my toes. That's the benefits for me. And then write the total expected cost of your project. So describe all the costs associated with and then write the total expected cost, which is the project. So I guess in the first point where it says describe all the costs associated with your project. Here you would just individually lay out each item that's going to cost money in the project. So maybe you're trying to get a membership, pro membership on GitHub, and you're trying to get pro membership on, I don't know if it even exists, Jira. And then this point is where you just add them all. So for us, it's just nothing because I guess this is individual cost, individual requirements cost, and here would be project total cost, project individual requirements cost, project total cost. Here would be nothing, obviously, because we're not spending any money. And then here it would be estimate the return on investment, ROI. And this is where you subtract the total costs from whatever the client is expected to, that you agree to receive for working on the project. And for us, obviously, it's none. So that's that. At the very least, I explained everything, even though in a real world scenario where you're working with a client. But in my case, it's all personal. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just go over everything again, make sure that it's all as I expect it should be for the business requirements document, and then actually we might, and then after that we'll just go to finish the first point. So for project objectives, we can see that we are creating a website using Angular, which acts as a presentation layer for the game. Well, it doesn't really act as a presentation layer for the game. It's more like it is part of the presentation layer. Acts as for registration, mainly for registration. So we have the home page, and we're going to need routing. Between the different pages. I don't know if I specified that somewhere else. If you look at project scope, so timeline 3 months, budget none. So is this actually supposed to be part of the 7th, which we just did? That's fine. We can just leave it like that. Deliverables, website, and type sheet. AI. Image recognition. Requirements. GitHub. So I know for the requirements, I do want to have Jira. But I guess this, yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll just have Jira there for now for like, it will be for tracking progress. create website, priority 1, priority 2, anti-cheat, priority 3, image recognition. Yeah, I think that's pretty alright for now. If we go for the executive summary and read what it has to say on the web page, it says at the top, says executive summary. The executive summary is a high-level statement outlining what your project is and its purpose. Those who don't have time. Okay, so we're just gonna have a summary of what the purpose is of the project, and that's very simple, actually. So I don't know why it's being like that. All right, there you go. So the purpose is this project involves learn image recognition by creating AI which uses let's just keep it simple. Learn image recognition. Create a learn image recognition. Well, let's just straight up specify like learning purposes, and then specify exactly what we mean here. So learn image recognition for the purpose of improving, adding to tool set, improving. I guess we could specify over here like learning purposes. Add to CS, or I guess IT tool set. Keep self on. Keep myself on my toes. Learn image recognition. Apply machine learning to full stack and apply get more experience with back end and apply front end knowledge and bridge gap between front and back end. So that's the end of the business requirements document. Let me just mute this. We might go back and revisit it, but for the meantime, yeah, we'll just end it here. I think it's pretty decent. It's simple, and there's a lot of things that are not incorporated into this project, such as stakeholders, so that's why it's shorter than you would expect. In the next video, we're going to create a user requirements document, or is it user specifications document? I can't remember, but it's going to be that second step in the requirements gathering. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.